The cleaning lady froze after seeing her childhood photo with her boss at the airport. Elena Brooks had perfected the art of being nobody. At 29, she moved through the world like a shadow, present but unnoticed, essential but invisible. Her navy blue uniform, faded from too many washes, marked her as part of the machinery that kept Los Angeles International Airport running. The cleaning crew, the people travelers looked through, not at. She preferred it that way. "Elena, they need you in Terminal 7, VIP Lounge," crackled the voice through her radio. "Make it quick, some big shots landing in 20. She grabbed her cart, the one with the squeaky wheel she'd been meaning to fix for months, and headed down the corridor. Her sneakers made no sound against the polished marble floors she'd cleaned so many times she could navigate them blindfolded. The airport smelled the way it always did, jet fuel mixing with overpriced coffee and that particular scent of people in transit, carrying the dust of wherever they'd been. The VIP Lounge was in chaos when she arrived. Airport staff rushed around like ants whose hill had been kicked over, adjusting flower arrangements, polishing already spotless surfaces, checking and rechecking everything. "Who's coming?" Elena asked Maria, one of the terminal supervisors. "Richard Callahan." Maria's eyes went wide, like the name should mean something. "You know, the aviation guy, private jets, cargo fleet, the whole thing. Word is he's worth over $2 billion. Elena shrugged. Rich people came through lax every day. They all looked the same to her. Expensive suits, entitled expressions, phones permanently attached to their ears. Just do a quick sweep after his people clear out," Maria continued. "And Elena, don't touch anything valuable. We can't afford any incidents." The words stung, but Elena kept her face neutral. Last month, another cleaner had been accused of stealing a passenger's watch. Turned out the guy had left it in a bathroom in Miami, but the damage was done. Now they were all suspects. She nodded and pushed her cart to the side, waiting. 20 minutes later, the commotion intensified. A small army of men in dark suits swept through first. Security, she guessed. Then came the assistants, the yes men, the people whose entire job was apparently to carry other people's bags and look important. And finally, Richard Callahan himself. Elena caught only a glimpse. Tall, maybe early 50s, salt and pepper hair, the kind of face that magazines probably called distinguished. He moved with the confidence of someone who'd never been told no. The crowd swallowed him up, ushering him toward a private conference room. And then they were gone, leaving only the faint scent of expensive cologne in their wake. "Okay, you can clean now," Maria said, already walking away. 15 minutes, tops. Elena entered the lounge, her practiced eye immediately cataloging the work ahead. Empty coffee cups on the side table, crumbs near the croissant display, someone's newspaper left behind on the leather sofa. She worked efficiently, muscle memory guiding her hands. Wipe down surfaces. Empty trash, straighten cushions, check under furniture for... Her hand froze, behind the leather armchair, wedged in the narrow space between the furniture and the wall. Something gleamed. Elena crouched down, her heart doing a weird skip beat thing she didn't quite understand. A picture frame, silver, expensive looking, slightly tarnished, about 5 by 7 inches. She should call Maria, should leave it where it was, let someone else deal with it. That's what the rules said. That's what keeping her job required. But her hand reached for it anyway. The frame was heavier than she expected. Solid silver rather than plated. She turned it over and the world tilted sideways. The photograph was old, maybe 25 years, judging by the faded quality and the style of clothing. A man, younger but unmistakable, smiled at the camera. Dark hair, strong jawline, eyes crinkled with genuine happiness. He was crouching down, one arm wrapped around a little girl who couldn't have been more than 4 years old. The girl wore a white dress with pink flowers. Her dark hair was pulled into 2 ponytails. She was laughing, the kind of full-body laugh that only little kids can manage, like whatever had made her giggle was the funniest thing in the entire universe. Elena's hands started to shake. She knew that dress. She could remember the feel of it. Soft cotton against her skin, could remember someone. A woman's voice, gentle, saying, "Hold still, mija. Let me fix your hair." And the man was Richard Callahan. Younger, happier, but definitely him. And the girl was her. "What the hell are you doing?" Elena's head snapped up. Margaret Hensley stood in the doorway, her perfectly tailored suit as sharp as her expression. The airport's executive director, Elena, had seen her around but never spoken to her. Their worlds didn't overlap. Margaret dealt with executives and contracts. Elena dealt with mops and trash bags. I found this," Elena stammered, holding up the frame. "Behind the chair. You were just stealing from a VIP guest." Margaret's voice could have cut glass. She strode forward, heels clicking like gunshots. "Give that to me now." "No, I wasn't." "Security," Margaret's shout echoed through the lounge. "I need security in VIP 7 immediately." Everything happened too fast after that. 2 security guards appeared. Elena recognized them, had chatted with them during breaks, but now their faces were professionally blank. Maria rushed in, her expression a mixture of horror and something that looked like pity. "Miss Hensley, I'm sure there's an explanation," Maria started. "The explanation is that I caught her red-handed with Mr. Callahan's personal property." Margaret snatched the frame from Elena's grip, her perfectly manicured nails scraping Elena's palm. "This is a fireable offense, actually. This is a criminal offense. Please, just listen." Elena's voice sounded pathetic even to her own ears. "I wasn't stealing it. I found it. And I think that's me in the photo. That little girl is me." The words hung in the air like something absurd, something impossible. Margaret's expression shifted, just for a second, so fast Elena almost missed it. Something flickered in those cold eyes. Not confusion, not surprise, fear. But then it was gone, replaced by a smile that didn't reach anywhere near her eyes. "Of course it is, dear. And I'm sure you're also a long-lost princess and an astronaut." She turned to security. "Escort her out. I want her badge, her locker cleared, and her off the premises in 10 minutes. And someone get legal on the phone. We need to discuss whether we're pressing charges." "No, please." Elena felt hands on her arms, firm but not rough. The security guards she'd joked with last week were now walking her backward, out of the lounge, away from the only piece of evidence that her fractured memories might actually be real. "Ms. Brooks, you need to come with us," one of them said quietly. "Don't make this harder." She didn't fight. What was the point? Her eyes stayed locked on the picture frame in Margaret's hands, on that little girl's laughing face, until they turned a corner and it disappeared from view. They walked her past her co-workers. She could feel their stares, hear the whispers starting, past the supervisor's office where she handed over her badge with trembling fingers, past her locker where she threw her few personal items into a plastic bag, and then she was outside, standing in the employee parking lot, the California sun beating down on her head, still wearing her uniform because she hadn't even been allowed time to change, fired, humiliated, accused of theft. But none of that mattered as much as the question burning through her mind. Why had she recognized herself in that photograph? And why had Margaret Hensley looked so afraid? Elena's phone buzzed in her pocket. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her thumb hit the accept button. "Ms. Brooks." The voice was smooth, professional, male. "My name is James Chen. I'm calling on behalf of Richard Callahan. Mr. Callahan would like to meet with you. Tonight, if possible." Elena stood frozen in the parking lot, the phone pressed against her ear, watching planes take off in the distance, carrying people to places she'd never been, lives she'd never live. "Why?" she finally managed. A pause. Then, "I think you know why, Ms. Brooks." Her reflection stared back at her from a car window. 29 years old. Nobody. Invisible. Except maybe she'd been somebody once. Maybe she'd been that little girl in the white dress with pink flowers, laughing like the world was safe and good and full of love. "What time?" Elena heard herself ask. "A car will pick you up at 7. Just text me your address." The line went dead. Elena looked down at her hands, still shaking, and wondered what the hell she'd just agreed to. The black town car that picked Elena up at 7 sharp was nicer than any vehicle she'd ever been inside. Leather seats that probably cost more than her rent. A driver who didn't ask questions, just nodded when she gave her name and opened the door like she was somebody important. She wasn't. She was a fired cleaning lady in jeans and a t-shirt, clutching a plastic bag with her work locker contents, heading to meet a billionaire who might or might not be her father. The thought made her want to throw up. Her studio apartment in Inglewood had never felt smaller than it did in the 3 hours between the phone call and the car's arrival. She'd paced, sat down, stood up again, changed clothes twice before settling on the jeans, because what the hell was she supposed to wear to meet your maybe dead but actually alive father? The memories had come flooding back the moment she'd gotten home. Fragments she'd learned to dismiss as fantasies. The kind of false memories kids in the system sometimes created to cope with abandonment. A big house with white columns. A garden with roses. White ones, she was sure of it. A man's voice reading to her at bedtime. Deep and warm. Once upon a time, Elena. And always, always, that sense of being safe. Of belonging. Her caseworkers had told her those memories were impossible. She'd entered the system at 5 with no history, no family, no explanation. Just paperwork that said she'd been found wandering near a park in San Diego. Unable to tell anyone where she'd come from. Traumatic amnesia, they'd said. Some kids block out the bad stuff. But what if she'd been blocking out the good stuff? What if those fragments were real? The car glided through Beverly Hills, past houses that looked like museums, until it pulled up to a building that was all glass and steel and money. A doorman appeared before the car even stopped moving. "Ms. Brooks, Mr. Callahan is expecting you, penthouse level." The elevator was mirrored on all sides. Elena watched herself rise. A girl who didn't belong here. Going up, up, up to a world she'd only ever cleaned. The doors opened directly into an apartment that wasn't an apartment. It was a palace in the sky. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed Los Angeles spread out like jewelry on black velvet. The furniture looked like it belonged in a magazine. Everything was white or chrome or glass. Clean lines and expensive emptiness. And standing by the windows, hands in his pockets, was Richard Callahan. He turned when she stepped out, and she saw his face do something complicated. Pain, maybe, or fear, or hope. She couldn't tell. "Elena," her name in his mouth sounded strange. "Thank you for coming. I wasn't sure you would. I wasn't sure either," she said honestly. He gestured to a white sofa that probably cost more than everything she owned. "Please sit. Can I get you anything? Water, coffee." "I'm fine." She perched on the edge of the cushion, her plastic bag clutched in her lap like a shield. "Why am I here?" Richard sat across from her, and she noticed his hands were shaking slightly. He clasped them together, trying to hide it. "I need to ask you something first. Your birthday. When is it?" "May 14th, 2000. Something flickered across his face. "That's what your records say. That's what I was told. I don't actually remember my birthday. I was in foster care, they had to estimate." He nodded slowly, then stood and walked to a desk in the corner. When he came back, he was carrying a folder. Thick, official looking. He set it on the coffee table between them, but didn't open it yet. 25 years ago, he said quietly, my daughter disappeared. Her name was Elena Marie Callahan. She was 4 years old. Her real birthday was March 7th, 1996. The numbers swam in Elena's head. March 7th. That would make her 29. Not 29. Wait, the math didn't. She'd always thought she was born in 2000. But if there was a fire, Richard continued, his voice carefully controlled. An apartment building in San Diego. My wife, my late wife, Catherine, was staying there temporarily. We were having problems. She'd taken Elena with her. The building burned. Catherine's body was found. Elena's. He stopped, swallowed hard. They said a child's remains were found, too badly burned to identify conclusively. But the age was right, and no other children were reported missing from the building. You thought I died, Elena whispered. For 25 years. Yes. He finally opened the folder, pulled out a photograph. Not the one from the frame, but similar. Same little girl, same man. Until this morning, when Margaret told me about the incident in the VIP lounge, about what you said when she found you with the picture. Elena's hands clenched. She had me fired, threatened to press charges. I know. That's been handled. Your job is waiting for you if you want it. Though I suspect, he trailed off, looked at her carefully. I suspect we both know you're not going back to that job. Because you think I'm your daughter. I know you are." He pulled out more papers, printouts, official documents. "I had my people pull everything they could in the last few hours. Your entry into the foster system in San Diego, 2001. A 5-year-old girl with no memory, no family, no records before that date. The timing matches, the location matches, and then there's this." He handed her a photograph, and her breath caught. It was her, the same little girl from the frame. But in this one, she was wearing a red coat, standing in front of a Christmas tree, holding a stuffed rabbit. Elena's hand moved to her throat, where a scar she'd always had. A small white line under her chin suddenly felt burning hot. "I remember that rabbit," she heard herself say. "His name was Mr. Hoppy." Richard's eyes closed. When he opened them, they were wet. "You fell off the porch trying to chase a butterfly when you were 3, 5 stitches right under your chin." She touched the scar. She'd always been told it was from a foster home accident. Another lie. "I don't understand." Her voice cracked. "If I didn't die in the fire, where was I? Why didn't you find me?" "I don't know." The words seemed to hurt him. "The case was investigated," the police concluded. "They said you must have died in the fire, that the remains they found were yours. I had no reason to doubt them. He stood abruptly, walked to the window, his back to her. "I should have looked harder, demanded more proof. But I was destroyed, Elena. I lost everything that mattered in one night. My wife, my daughter. I threw myself into work because it was the only thing that didn't hurt." Elena stood too, anger cutting through the confusion. "You built an empire. I built a prison." He turned back to her. Every success felt empty. Every achievement felt like a betrayal. Like I was living while they were dead. But I kept going because what else was there? And now, she heard the bitterness in her own voice. "Now you find out I've been alive this whole time, living in foster homes, sleeping in shelters, aging out of the system with nothing, while you had this." She gestured at the penthouse, at the wealth surrounding them. "Now I want to make it right." "You can't," the words burst out of her. "You can't give me back 25 years. You can't give me a childhood or a family or—" Her voice broke. "You can't give me a mother." Richard flinched like she'd hit him. "No, I can't. But I can give you the truth. I can give you answers about what happened. And I can." He paused. "I can try to be what I should have been all along if you'll let me." Elena looked at this stranger who was supposedly her father, saw the expensive suit that couldn't hide the pain in his eyes, saw the silver at his temples and the lines on his face that spoke of years of grief. She saw herself in the tilt of his jaw, the shape of his eyes. "I need proof," she said finally. "Real proof, DNA tests, documentation, everything. Already arranged. We can do it tomorrow if you want. And I need to know what really happened. Who put me in that foster system? Why was I listed as 5 years old when I was 4? Why can't I remember anything before?" "We'll find out," Richard promised. "I have the best investigators. The best—" "No," Elena cut him off. "Not your people. I need someone who isn't working for you. Someone objective." He studied her for a long moment, then nodded. "Fair enough. I can give you names. People I trust but who don't work for me. She should leave. Should walk out and never look back." This was insane. Impossible. People didn't just find out they were secretly billionaires' daughters. That wasn't how real life worked. But the photograph of the little girl with Mr. Hoppy the rabbit sat on the coffee table, and Elena couldn't stop staring at her own face. So young and happy and loved. "I have one condition," Richard said quietly. "Stay here tonight. Just tonight. Let me have one evening with my daughter. We don't have to talk about any of this. I can order dinner. We can watch TV. We can sit in silence if you want. But please, just give me tonight." Elena looked around the penthouse, at this life she'd never known, at this father who was a stranger. "Okay," she heard herself say. "Tonight," as Richard moved to the phone to order food. Elena walked to the windows and looked out at the city lights. Somewhere down there was her studio apartment, her old life, the person she'd been this morning. That person was already gone, and she had no idea who she was becoming. The DNA test took less than 5 minutes. A cotton swab against the inside of her cheek. A sealed container. A courier who appeared at Richard's penthouse at 8 a.m. Sharp and disappeared with the sample like it contained state secrets. Results in 48 hours, Richard had said over coffee that morning. But we both know what they'll say. Elena had spent the night in one of the guest rooms, a space bigger than her entire apartment, with sheets that felt like clouds and a mattress that probably cost more than her car. She hadn't slept. Instead, she'd lain awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind spinning through 25 years of lies. Now, sitting in Richard's home office while he made calls to his lawyers, she pulled out her phone and started searching for the one document she'd always had, her birth certificate. Except when she pulled it up from the photos she'd saved years ago, really looked at it for the first time with new eyes, something felt wrong. The paper quality looked off, the seal seemed smudged, and the county clerk's signature, she zoomed in, looked like it had been photocopied rather than originally signed. "I need to go somewhere," she announced, standing abruptly. Richard looked up from his laptop. "Where?" "San Diego, the Hall of Records. I need to see my original adoption paperwork. I can have someone." "No." Elena grabbed her jacket. "I need to do this myself. I need to see it with my own eyes." He studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Take my car, and Elena, be careful. If someone went to the trouble of hiding you for 25 years, they won't want you finding answers now." The drive to San Diego took 2 hours. Elena spent them thinking about all the caseworkers, all the foster families, all the people who'd shuffled her through the system like paperwork. Had any of them known? Had any of them questioned why a little girl appeared out of nowhere with no history? Or had they just not cared enough to ask? The San Diego County Hall of Records was a blocky government building that smelled like old paper and bureaucracy. Elena approached the counter with her ID and her carefully rehearsed request. "I need to see my original adoption records." From 2001, the clerk, a woman in her 50s with reading glasses on a chain, barely looked up. "Name: Elena Brooks." "Well, that's the name I was given. I don't know what my case number was." That got her a look. "You don't know your own case number?" "I was 5. They didn't really explain the filing system. The clerk sighed, turned to her computer, typed, frowned, typed more. "Birth year. That's complicated. The records say 2000, but I think it might actually be 1996. More typing. The frown deepened. "Honey, I'm not finding anything under Elena Brooks for either year. You sure you were processed through San Diego County?" Elena's stomach dropped. "I was told I was found here, near Balboa Park, in 2001. Let me try the foster system database." More clicking. More frowning. Then the clerk looked up, her expression shifting from annoyed to concerned. "There's a record here, but it's flagged." "Flagged how?" "Sealed, by court order." She leaned closer to her screen. "Says here the records were sealed in 2003 for..." "It doesn't say why. Just says sealed pending investigation." "What investigation?" "Doesn't say. And I can't unseal them without a court order from a judge." Elena's hands clenched on the counter. "Those are my records, my life. How can they be sealed from me?" "I'm sorry." "Hon, that's just how it works. You'll need to petition the court. Get a lawyer. Can you at least tell me who requested the seal?" The clerk hesitated, glanced around like she was about to break a rule, then whispered, "Margaret Hensley. But I didn't tell you that." The name hit Elena like a fist. Margaret, the woman who'd had her fired. The woman who'd looked afraid when Elena said that was her in the photograph. "Do you have an address for her from back then?" "Honey, I really can't. Please." Elena heard the desperation in her own voice. "Someone erased me. Someone made me disappear. And I need to know why." The clerk looked at her for a long moment. Then, very quietly, she turned her monitor so Elena could see it. An address in La Jolla from 2003. An employer listed as Callahan Aviation Enterprises. Elena took a photo with her phone before the clerk turned the screen back. "I never showed you that," the woman said firmly. "And you need to get a lawyer, a good one." Outside, Elena sat in Richard's car and called the one person whose name kept appearing in her scattered Google searches about her case. David Torres, the detective who'd originally investigated the fire that supposedly killed her. He was retired now, living in Oceanside according to his outdated LinkedIn profile. She found a phone number through a public records search and dialed before she could talk herself out of it. Torres. The voice was gruff. Older. Mr. Torres, my name is Elena Brooks. I need to talk to you about a case from 25 years ago, the Callahan fire. Silence then. Who gave you this number? Nobody. I found it, because I think I'm the little girl who was supposed to have died in that fire. Another long pause. Where are you? San Diego. There's a coffee shop on Voltaire Street in Ocean Beach called The Black. Meet me there in an hour, and Mrs. Brooks, come alone. He hung up. Elena drove to Ocean Beach in a daze, parked, and found the coffee shop. A small place with mismatched furniture and local art on the walls. David Torres wasn't hard to spot. Mid-60s. Brown skin weathered by sun and time. Skeptical eyes that had probably seen everything twice. He was already sitting at a corner table with 2 coffees when she arrived. You look like her, he said without preamble as Elena sat down. Catherine Callahan. You have her eyes. You knew my mother. I interviewed her twice before she died. She was going to leave Richard, take you with her. Said she'd found something. He stopped, shook his head. That's not important now. What's important is that you're sitting here, alive when I was told you were dead. What happened with the investigation? Torres leaned back, his jaw tight. That fire was arson. Professional job. Someone wanted that building to burn and wanted it to look accidental. We found accelerant traces, timing devices. But here's the thing. There were no child remains in that apartment. Elena's breath caught. But Richard was told what someone wanted him to hear. The remains we found were an adult female, Catherine. No child. But my report got buried. I was pulled off the case, told to close it as accidental death. When I pushed back, I was strongly encouraged to retire early. By who? Never got a name, but the pressure came from high up. Someone with connections, with power. He pulled out a worn folder from his bag. I kept copies, everything I found, including this. He slid a photograph across the table. It showed the apartment building the day after the fire, and in the corner of the shot, barely visible, was a woman walking away, carrying something wrapped in a blanket. Elena's hands shook as she held the photo. Who is that? I don't know. The image is too blurry to ID. But that photo was taken 6 hours after the fire was reported. And whatever she's carrying, he pointed to the blanket. It's child-sized. Someone took me. The words felt surreal. Someone took me from the fire and made everyone think I died. That's what I thought. But I couldn't prove it. And then I got shut down. Torres leaned forward. I've waited 25 years for this case to resurface. I've got boxes of evidence I was never allowed to present. And now you're here, alive, which means whoever did this failed. Elena pulled out her phone, showed him the information from the Hall of Records. Margaret Hensley. She sealed my adoption records. She works for Richard, has for decades. Torres's expression darkened. Then she needs to be the first person we talk to. But carefully, Elena. If she's involved, confronting her could be dangerous. I don't care. Elena's voice was steel. She erased me. She buried the truth. And I want to know why. Torres studied her, then nodded slowly. All right, but we do this smart. We gather evidence first, build a case that can't be ignored or buried. Can you get close to her? Get her to trust you? Richard can. She's his right hand. Then we use that. Torres pulled out a business card. Old, the edges worn. This is my cell. You call me day or night. And Elena, watch your back. Someone went to a lot of trouble to make you disappear once. They might try again. Elena took the card, slipped it in her pocket as she left the coffee shop. She felt different. Not like the invisible cleaning lady anymore. Not like the lost foster kid. Like someone with a purpose. Someone hunting for the truth. The address Torres had given Elena led to a neighborhood in San Diego that time had forgotten. Ranch-style houses from the 70s, cracked driveways, chain-link fences sagging under the weight of decades. This was where the fire had happened, where her mother had died, where Elena had supposedly died too. The building itself was gone, replaced by a small apartment complex that looked barely better than what had burned down. But the houses around it remained, and Torres had given her 3 addresses. 3 witnesses who'd been there that night and might remember something useful. Most of them won't talk, he'd warned. 25 years is a long time and people forget. Or they choose to forget. Elena parked across the street from the first house. A yellow ranch with bars on the windows and a garden full of plastic flowers. An old woman answered the door. Must have been in her 80s, wearing a house dress and suspicious eyes. "I'm not buying anything," she announced before Elena could speak. "I'm not selling. I'm looking for information about the fire from 2001. The apartment building that used to be across the street." The woman's expression shifted. "You, a reporter?" "No, I'm personal interest. I lost someone in that fire." That softened her a bit. She opened the door wider. "I remember that night. Terrible thing. Come in, I suppose." The living room was cluttered with decades of life. Photographs on every surface. Afghans draped over furniture. The smell of cats and mothballs. The woman, Mrs. Chen, she introduced herself, settled into a recliner that had clearly been molded to her shape over years. "I was watching the news when I heard the sirens," she said. "Must have been around 10 at night. Looked out my window and saw the flames. Awful, just awful. Do you remember seeing anyone before the fire started?" Mrs. Chen squinted, thinking, there was always people coming and going from that building. Not a nice place. "Drugs, I think. The police came around a lot. But that specific night, did you see anyone unusual?" "Well," she paused. "There was a woman. Fancy car. Didn't belong in this neighborhood, I noticed, because she parked right there." She pointed out the window. "And she sat there for maybe 20 minutes, just sitting. Then she got out and went into the building." Elena's pulse quickened. What did she look like? Couldn't see her face, but she was tall, thin, wore nice clothes, business clothes. What kind of car? Black? Expensive. One of those luxury ones. Mrs. Chen shook her head. "I remember thinking she was lost or looking for drugs. Didn't think much of it until later, after the fire. Then I wondered if maybe I should have told someone." "Did you tell the police?" "I tried. They took my statement, but nobody ever followed up. Probably thought I was just a nosy old woman." Elena pulled out her phone, found a photo of Margaret Hensley from the airport's website. "Could this be the woman you saw?" Mrs. Chen leaned forward, squinting at the screen. "Maybe. Hard to say. It was dark, and like I said, I didn't see her face clearly, but the height is right, and the way she carried herself, like she owned the place even though she clearly didn't belong there." Elena thanked her and moved to the next address. An older Mexican man who barely spoke English but whose daughter translated. Yes, he remembered the fire. No, he didn't see anyone suspicious. He'd been working the night shift. The third house was different. A man in his 60s answered. Anglo. Graying beard, eyes that looked like they'd seen things they'd rather forget. "Dennis Shaw," he introduced himself. "You asking about the fire?" "Yes, I'm trying to understand what happened that night." He studied her carefully. "You look familiar. You related to someone who lived there?" Elena hesitated, then decided on honesty. "I think I was there, that night. I think I survived." Dennis's eyes widened. "The Callahan girl. But they said you died. They were wrong." He stepped back, letting her in. His house was sparse. A veteran's house. Elena guessed from the Marine Corps flag on the wall. He gestured for her to sit. "I saw something that night," he said quietly. "Never told anyone because I figured I'd imagined it. PTSD, you know. Sometimes my brain shows me things that aren't there." "What did you see?" "A woman. Coming out of the building maybe 10 minutes before the explosion. She was carrying something wrapped in a blanket. Walking fast. Not running exactly, but purposeful. She put it in her car and drove off." Elena's throat tightened. "Did you see what she was carrying?" "No, but it was about this big." He gestured, roughly the size of a 4-year-old child. And the way she was holding it, real careful-like. I thought maybe it was alive. "Why didn't you report it?" Dennis looked down at his hands. "I did. Called the tip line the next day. Told them what I saw. They said they'd look into it." He laughed bitterly. "Nothing ever came of it later. When I asked, they said there was no record of my call. Made me feel crazy. So I stopped asking." "Can you describe the woman?" "Tall, Professional looking even in the dark, had her hair pulled back, and her car, definitely expensive, black sedan. Elena showed him Margaret's photo. Dennis didn't hesitate. That's her. I'm sure of it. I spent 22 years in the Corps. I don't forget faces. That's the woman I saw. Elena felt something cold settle in her stomach. Would you be willing to testify to that, if it came to it? If it means catching whoever set that fire and lied about it for 25 years, hell yes. She left his house with his phone number and a promise to stay in touch. In her car, she called Torres. I have 2 witnesses who can place Margaret at the scene, she told him. One who saw her go into the building before the fire. One who saw her leave with something the size of a child. Torres whistled low. That's more than I ever had. But Elena, it's still circumstantial. A good lawyer will tear it apart. It was dark. It was 25 years ago. Memories fade. We need hard evidence. Like what? Like her admitting it. Or documents, records, proof she had access to the building. Motive. Means. Elena thought about Margaret's face when she'd found Elena with the photograph. The flash of fear. She knows I'm alive now. She knows I'm looking. Which makes her dangerous, Elena. I mean it. You need to be careful. If she killed your mother and stole you once, she won't hesitate to protect herself now. After hanging up, Elena sat in her car staring at the apartment complex that had replaced the building where her mother died. She tried to imagine that night, 4 years old, scared, probably crying, fire everywhere, smoke, and then hands grabbing her, carrying her away from the flames. Margaret's hands. But why? Why kill her mother? Why take Elena but not kill her too? Why hide her in the foster system instead of finishing what she'd started? None of it made sense. Her phone buzzed. Richard. She'd been avoiding his calls all day. Where are you? He asked when she answered. I've been worried. San Diego, following leads. A pause. Elena, the DNA results came back early. Her hand tightened on the phone. And 99.9% match. You're my daughter, officially, scientifically, no question. She should feel something. Joy, relief, validation. Instead, she just felt tired. There's something else, Richard continued. Margaret's been asking about you, wanting to know where you are, what you're doing. She says she wants to apologize for the incident at the airport. Don't tell her anything, Elena said quickly. Don't tell her where I am or what I'm investigating. Why, Elena? What's going on? She looked at the apartment complex again, saw the shadows where the old building had stood. I think Margaret killed my mother, and I think she's the one who took me. Silence on the other end. Then, very quietly, come home now. We'll figure this out together. I can't. Not yet. I need more proof. Elena, I'll be careful. I promise. But I need to see this through. She hung up before he could argue, and sat in the growing darkness, watching the street where she disappeared 25 years ago. Somewhere out there, Margaret Hensley was living her life, working her job, pretending she hadn't destroyed a family and stolen a child. But not for much longer. Elena was coming for the truth, and she wasn't invisible anymore. Elena drove back to Los Angeles with Dennis Shaw's testimony playing on repeat in her mind. A woman carrying something child-sized. Margaret's face in the photograph. The pieces were falling into place, but Torres was right. They needed more. She needed to find the family who'd first taken her in, the people who'd signed the adoption papers, who'd called her Elena Brooks for the first time, who must have known something was wrong but stayed silent anyway. The foster records had listed them as Robert and Susan Fletcher. Inglewood address expired 15 years ago, but public record searches were surprisingly easy when you knew where to look. She found them in Riverside, a modest house with a well-kept lawn and a minivan in the driveway. Very suburban. Very normal. Very much the kind of people who shouldn't have been involved in hiding a kidnapped child. Elena sat outside for 20 minutes, working up the courage. Finally, she got out and rang the doorbell. The woman who answered was in her 60s. Gray hair, kind eyes behind bifocals. She took one look at Elena and went pale. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You're her. You're the little girl." Elena nodded. "Can we talk?" Susan Fletcher looked back into the house, hesitated, then stepped outside and closed the door behind her. "My husband doesn't know I'm talking to you," He made me promise years ago that we'd never speak about it. About what? Exactly. Susan's hands twisted together. We were told you were a special case, that your mother had died, and your father couldn't care for you, that the adoption needed to be expedited quietly because there were complications. What kind of complications? They didn't say. The social worker... Susan paused. Actually, she wasn't a social worker. I realize that now. She never worked for the county. She was private, hired by someone wealthy, she said, to make sure you went to a good home. Elena's chest tightened. Do you remember her name? Margaret something? She paid us. Susan's voice cracked. God, I'm so ashamed. We were struggling financially. Our son had medical bills, and she offered us $20,000 to take you in. No questions asked. Said it was from a trust fund, that it was for your care. But it wasn't. No, it was to keep us quiet. Susan's eyes filled with tears. You were such a sweet child. So scared. You had nightmares every night for months. You'd wake up crying for your mama. And I wanted to help you. I did. But Margaret said if we contacted anyone or tried to find your real family, the money would have to be returned and we'd face legal consequences. So you said nothing. For 6 months, yes. But then you started remembering things, talking about a big house, a garden, a man who read you stories, and I started to wonder if maybe we'd been lied to. Susan wiped her eyes. So I tried to find information, searched missing children databases, found a case, a little girl who'd disappeared in a fire in San Diego. Same age, same time frame. The photo was grainy, but it looked like you. Elena's breath caught. You knew. I suspected. But when I tried to report it, my calls went nowhere. And then Margaret showed up at our door. Susan's voice dropped. She threatened us. Said if we made any more inquiries, my husband would lose his job. My son would lose his medical coverage. She had power. Connections. We were terrified. So you gave me back to the system. We told ourselves it was for the best, that maybe someone else could help you better than we could. But really, Susan looked at her directly. We were cowards. We chose our safety over yours. And I've regretted it every day for 24 years. Elena wanted to be angry, wanted to rage at this woman who'd taken money to hide a kidnapped child. But looking at Susan's face, seeing the genuine remorse there, she felt only exhaustion. Do you have any documentation? Anything Margaret gave you? I kept everything. Robert wanted to destroy it, but I couldn't. It felt like evidence of something, even if I didn't know what. Susan went inside and returned with a manila envelope. It's all here. The payment records, the fake adoption papers, even a card she sent when we returned you to social services. Elena opened the envelope. Inside were bank statements showing deposits from an LC that public records showed was owned by Margaret Hensley, adoption documents with forged signatures, and a handwritten note on expensive stationery. Thank you for your discretion. Remember our agreement. H. This is evidence, Elena said quietly. Real evidence of fraud. Possibly conspiracy. Will you take it to the police? Eventually. First. I need to understand why she did this. What she gained from hiding me. Susan touched Elena's arm. I know I don't have the right to ask, but are you okay? Did you end up somewhere safe? Elena thought about the 7 foster homes, the shelters, the aging out at 18 with nothing but a G'd and determination. I survived. That's more than some kids in the system can say. I'm sorry, Susan whispered. I'm so sorry. Elena left with the envelope, feeling like she was carrying proof of something terrible. In her car, she called Torres. The family who first fostered me was paid by Margaret to keep quiet, she told him. I have bank records, documentation. That's conspiracy to commit fraud at minimum, possibly more. Torres's voice was grim. Elena, you need to bring all this to the police now. This is beyond what we can handle privately. Not yet. Once we go public, Margaret will lawyer up. She'll destroy whatever evidence she hasn't already destroyed. I need to confront her first, get her to admit it. That's dangerous. I know. But it's the only way. She drove back to Los Angeles, her mind churning. The evidence was piling up. But the biggest question remained. Why? Why had Margaret killed her mother? Why take Elena but not kill her? What was the end game? Her phone rang. "Richard, where are you?" He sounded strained. "Margaret knows you've been asking questions. She came to me today, very concerned. Said you might be suffering from delusions, that the stress of everything has made you unstable. She's trying to discredit me. I know. I told her I believed you completely. She didn't like that." A pause. "Elena, she's scared. I can see it. And scared people do desperate things." "Good. Let her be scared." "Elena, she killed my mother, Dad." The word slipped out before she could stop it. "Dad?" She heard Richard's sharp intake of breath. "She stole me. She paid people to hide me. She sealed records and destroyed evidence. And she's been walking around free for 25 years. So yes, I want her scared. I want her to know I'm coming. Then let me help. Let me confront her with you." Elena thought about it. About Margaret's face when she saw them together. Father and daughter, reunited despite everything she'd done to keep them apart. "Okay," she said finally. "But we do it my way. And we record everything." "Agreed." "When?" "Tomorrow, at your office. Somewhere she feels safe. Somewhere she'll talk." That night, Elena stayed at Richard's penthouse again. They ordered Chinese food and ate mostly in silence, the weight of what was coming hanging between them. "Why do you think she did it?" Richard asked finally. "Why target Catherine? Why take you?" "I don't know. But tomorrow we're going to find out." Elena went to bed early but couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about her mother, Catherine Callahan, a woman she couldn't remember except in fragments. A soft voice, the smell of roses, gentle hands brushing her hair. Had Catherine known something? Had she discovered something that made her dangerous? The questions circled until Elena finally drifted off, her dreams filled with smoke and fire, and a woman's face she couldn't quite see. Tomorrow, she'd see it clearly. Tomorrow, Margaret Hensley would answer for what she'd done. Richard's office occupied the entire top floor of a glass tower in Century City. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered views of Los Angeles sprawling toward the ocean. Power and money radiated from every surface. The mahogany desk, the leather chairs, the abstract art that probably cost more than most people's houses. Elena arrived early, her phone already recording in her jacket pocket. Torres had coached her the night before on what to say, how to push without revealing too much. Get her talking. Let her feel in control. People confess when they think they're winning. Richard was at his desk when she entered, his face tight with tension. "She'll be here in 5 minutes. I told her we needed to discuss your transition into the company." Will she believe that? Probably not. But she'll come anyway. She needs to know what we know. Elena positioned herself by the window, her back to the light. When Margaret entered, she'd be silhouetted, harder to read. The door opened exactly on time. Margaret Hensley walked in with the confidence of someone who'd never been challenged. Wearing a steel gray suit that matched her eyes, she saw Elena and stopped. "Ms. Brooks." Her voice was cool, professional. "I wasn't aware you'd be joining us." "Elena is family," Richard said firmly. "She belongs here." Margaret's jaw tightened microscopically. "Of course, though I do think we should discuss the optics of this situation. The media has been asking questions. There are concerns about legitimacy, about opportunists." "The DNA test confirmed it," Richard interrupted. "Elena is my daughter." "That's not up for debate." "I see." Margaret set her briefcase down, but remained standing. "Then I suppose congratulations are in order. Though I must say, the timing is quite remarkable. 25 years with no sign, and suddenly you appear right when Richard's company is going through a major acquisition. You think I planned this?" Elena's voice stayed level. "You think I arranged to be kidnapped as a 4-year-old so I could cash in 25 years later? I think there are people who make careers out of exploiting wealthy men's grief. Like you." The air in the room changed. Margaret's expression didn't shift, but something flickered in her eyes. Recognition that this wasn't going to be the conversation she'd expected. "I'm sorry," she said coldly. "You've been by Richard's side for almost 30 years. Elena continued. His right hand, always there. Always loyal, always waiting. "I've been a dedicated employee, yes." "You've been in love with him." Richard's head snapped toward Elena, but she kept her eyes on Margaret, watched the older woman's face for the crack in the mask. "That's absurd," Margaret said. but her voice was too controlled, too careful. Is it? 25 years ago, my mother was leaving Richard. She was going to file for divorce and take me with her. That must have been hard for you to watch. The woman you thought stood between you and what you wanted. Elena, Richard said quietly. What are you doing? Getting the truth, finally. She pulled the envelope Susan Fletcher had given her from her bag. I spoke with my first foster family, the Fletchers. They told me an interesting story about how I came to them, about a private adoption, about $20,000 paid by an LC owned by you, Margaret. Margaret's face went carefully blank. I don't know what you're talking about. I have the bank statements, the forged documents, your handwritten note telling them to keep quiet. Elena took a step forward. I also have witnesses who saw you at the apartment building the night of the fire, who saw you leave carrying something wrapped in a blanket. This is ridiculous. But Margaret's hand had moved to grip the back of a chair. Richard, this woman is clearly disturbed. She's making wild accusations. I also have hospital records, Elena said, bluffing now but watching Margaret's face, showing you were treated for minor burns the night my mother died. That did it. Something in Margaret's expression shattered. You don't understand, she whispered. Richard stood slowly. Margaret, tell me Elena's wrong. Tell me you didn't. I saved her. The words burst out of Margaret like they'd been held back for decades. That building was burning. Catherine was already dead, and I found Elena in the bedroom crying, terrified. I could have left her there. I could have let her die with her mother, but I didn't. I saved her. The room went silent except for the hum of the air conditioning. You set the fire, Richard said. His voice was hollow. Catherine was going to destroy you. She was going to take everything. Your daughter, half your company, your reputation. She'd found evidence of the merger irregularities from the Santos deal. She was going to expose you. Richard, go to the sec. You would have lost everything. So you killed her. I protected you. Margaret's composure was crumbling, years of control falling away. I've always protected you. From your father's impossible standards, from your competitors, from your own mistakes, and from her. Catherine never loved you the way I did. She was using you. But her voice broke. I loved you from the moment we met. Everything I did for you. Elena felt sick. You murdered my mother because you loved him. Margaret turned to her, and for the first time, Elena saw something raw and desperate in her eyes. Your mother was weak, selfish. She had everything. Richard's love, a beautiful daughter, a life most women would kill for, and she was throwing it away. I gave you a chance to live. I could have left you in that fire, but I didn't. You hid me in the foster system for 25 years. I was going to bring you back. Margaret's voice rose. Once Richard had grieved, once he'd moved on, I was going to find you, present you to him like a miracle, proof that something good could come from tragedy. He would have been grateful. He would have finally seen me, loved me, but he didn't, Elena said quietly. Even after all these years, he never loved you back. Margaret's face twisted with something between rage and anguish. He would have, if you'd stayed lost, if Catherine had just taken her secrets to the grave. But she told someone, before the fire. She told a journalist friend about the Santos deal. I had to make it look like an accident. Had to make sure all her evidence burned with her. Richard sank back into his chair, his face ashen. The Santos merger. That's what this was about, Margaret. That deal was borderline but legal. Catherine wouldn't have had anything concrete enough to... I didn't know that. Margaret's voice cracked. I only knew she was going to try. And I couldn't let her destroy you. I couldn't let her take you away from me. I was never yours to take, Richard said quietly. The words seemed to break something in Margaret. She looked between them, father and daughter, reunited despite everything she'd done. And Elena saw the moment she realized she'd lost, that all of it had been for nothing. I loved you, Margaret whispered, looking at Richard. For 30 years, I loved you. Everything I built, every success you had, I was there, making it possible, making you possible. And you never even saw me. You killed my wife, Richard said, his voice shaking with barely controlled fury. You stole my daughter. You let me believe they were both dead for 25 years, and you did it all thinking I'd somehow fall in love with you. Margaret straightened, pulling what remained of her dignity around her like armor. You would have, eventually, you would have seen that I was the one who truly understood you, who truly deserved you. You're insane, Elena said. No. Margaret's smile was bitter. I'm just a woman who loved the wrong man, who did terrible things for love and got nothing in return. She picked up her briefcase. I assume you've recorded all this, that the police will be involved. They're already on their way, Richard said. I called them before you arrived. Margaret nodded slowly, unsurprised. Then I suppose this is goodbye. She looked at Richard one last time. I hope she's worth it. I hope your daughter gives you everything I never could. She walked to the door, opened it, and found 2 LAPD detectives waiting in the hallway. Margaret Hensley, one of them said, "We need you to come with us." She went without resistance, her back straight, her head high. Elena watched her go and felt no satisfaction, only a hollow sense of waste. All those years, all that pain, for love that was never real to begin with. Richard stood beside her at the window as they watched police cars arrive below. I'm sorry, he said quietly, for all of it, for not looking harder, for believing the lies, for 25 years of, not now, Elena interrupted. Her voice was tired. Let's just, not now. They stood in silence as Margaret was led away in handcuffs, disappearing into a police car that pulled away into Los Angeles traffic. It was over, but somehow, it didn't feel like victory. The police interviews took 3 days. Elena told her story so many times the words started to feel mechanical. Margaret's confession, the witnesses, the evidence, over and over until the detectives were satisfied they had enough to build a case that would stick. Margaret's lawyer tried to argue diminished capacity, crimes of passion, temporary insanity, but the premeditation was too clear. The cover-up too elaborate. She'd planned everything. The fire, the fake adoption, the sealed records. You didn't do that in a moment of madness. By day 4, the media had the story. Elena's face was everywhere. Billionaire's lost daughter found after 25 years. Executive arrested in murder-kidnapping case. The vultures circled. Cameras camping outside Richard's building. Reporters shouting questions whenever Elena appeared. She stopped watching the news. Stopped reading the articles. It was all speculation and sensationalism anyway. Nobody cared about the truth. Just the drama. What Elena couldn't stop thinking about was Richard. He'd been distant since Margaret's arrest. Polite, helpful, making sure Elena had everything she needed. But there was a wall between them now. Something he wasn't saying. On the 5th day, she found him in his study at 2 a.m, a glass of whiskey in his hand, staring at nothing. Can't sleep either, she asked from the doorway. He looked up, startled. I thought you'd gone to bed hours ago. Tried. She came in, sat across from him. Kept thinking about everything Margaret said. About Mom finding evidence. About the Santos merger. Richard's jaw tightened. The Santos deal was 15 years ago. Ancient history. But it's what got her killed. No. His voice was sharp. What got her killed was Margaret's obsession. Catherine didn't die because of business. She died because a disturbed woman couldn't accept rejection. Margaret said Mom was going to the SEC. Margaret was paranoid and jealous. Catherine had concerns about the merger, legitimate concerns, but nothing she was planning to report. We were working through it together. That's why she'd taken some space. Why she was at that apartment. We were going to counseling, trying to save our marriage. Elena studied his face. You loved her. Very much. The admission seemed to cost him something. Losing her broke me, and then losing you on top of it. He drained his glass. I became a different person after that fire. Colder, more driven. I threw myself into work because it was the only thing that didn't hurt. Margaret said you would have lost everything if Mom had exposed you. Margaret was wrong about a lot of things. Richard refilled his glass. The Santos deal was aggressive but legal. Your mother knew that. She just wanted me to slow down, be more careful, be home more. He laughed bitterly. She was right. I was building an empire and neglecting my family. And by the time I realized it, they were gone. Elena wanted to comfort him but didn't know how. They were still strangers in so many ways. Biology didn't erase 25 years of absence. I need to ask you something, she said quietly, and I need you to be honest. Richard looked at her warily. Okay, the investigation. After the fire. Did you really think I was dead? Or did you just stop looking? The question hung in the air like smoke. What kind of question is that? Richard's voice had an edge now. The kind I deserve an answer to. Elena leaned forward. Torres told me there were inconsistencies in the case. Missing evidence. Reports that got buried. Margaret couldn't have done all that alone. She had help. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that maybe someone else wanted the case closed quickly. Someone with money and influence who just wanted to move on. Richard's face went hard. You think I didn't want to find you? I think you built a billion-dollar empire while I was bouncing between foster homes. I think you moved on pretty successfully for a man whose child was missing. Because I thought you were dead. He stood abruptly, pacing. Elena, they showed me evidence. Autopsy reports. Fire investigators swore the remains were consistent with a 4-year-old child. I had no reason to doubt them. Except Torres did doubt them. He thought something was wrong, and he got forced into early retirement for asking too many questions. Richard stopped pacing. I didn't know about that. Didn't you, or did you just not ask? Margaret was your right hand. She handled everything, including making problems disappear. I never asked her to. He cut himself off. You think I knew? You think I was complicit in covering up your disappearance? I think it's convenient. A grieving widower with a tragic past. Very sympathetic. Great for business. The words came out harsher than Elena intended, but she couldn't stop them. All the anger she'd been holding back. All the questions that had been eating at her. Is that really what you think of me? Richard's voice was quiet now. Dangerous. That I'd sacrifice my own daughter for market share. I don't know. I don't know you. No, you don't. He set his glass down with a sharp click. You want honesty? Fine. Here's honest. After the fire, I was destroyed. Completely broken. Margaret was the one who kept me functional. She handled the investigation. The funeral arrangements. The media. She told me the police had everything under control. That pursuing it further would just drag things out. Make it worse. And you believed her. Why wouldn't I? She'd been with me for years. She was efficient, loyal, trustworthy, or so I thought. Richard's hands clenched. But yes, you want to know something I've never told anyone? There were nights I wondered, moments where something felt off. A detective who asked to speak with me directly and then suddenly retired. Reports that seemed too neat, too final. Elena's heart hammered. But you didn't push. No, I didn't. The admission seemed to physically hurt him. Because if I pushed, if I dug deeper, I'd have to face the possibility that maybe you were out there somewhere, alive and suffering. And I couldn't. God, Elena, I couldn't bear it. So I let myself believe the official story. I let Margaret handle it, and I buried myself in work. You chose not to know. Yes, the word was barely audible. I chose the easy lie over the hard truth, and I'll live with that for the rest of my life. Silence filled the study. Outside, Los Angeles glittered indifferently. I hate you for that, Elena said finally. Richard nodded. You should, but I also understand it a little. She stood, walked to the window. I spent 25 years in the system learning to survive by not asking too many questions, by accepting what I was told, by making myself small and invisible so I wouldn't get hurt. We're not that different, you and me. We both chose not to look too closely at things that might destroy us. That doesn't excuse it. No, it doesn't. Elena turned to face him. You had the money and power to find me. You could have hired armies of investigators. You could have torn apart every piece of evidence. But you didn't. Because it was easier to believe I was dead than to face the guilt of knowing you might have saved me and chose not to try. Elena, I'm not done. Her voice was steel now. Margaret killed my mother. She stole me. She destroyed both our lives. But you let it happen. You chose your empire over your daughter. That confession, that recording of Margaret. She wasn't the only one who's guilty here. Richard's face crumpled. I know. Do you? Because you keep talking about building this relationship, about making up for lost time. But how do I trust a father who gave up on me before he even knew I was alive? I don't know. Richard's voice broke. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you should. All I know is that I failed you. spectacularly, and I'd give everything I have, every dollar, every asset, every achievement, to go back and do it differently. Elena felt tears on her face and angrily wiped them away. But you can't. No, I can't. They stood there in the study, father and daughter, connected by blood and separated by 25 years of absence and lies and choices that couldn't be unmade. I'm leaving, Elena said finally. Not Los Angeles. Not yet. But I can't stay here. With you. It's too much. Richard nodded slowly. I'll have my assistant find you an apartment. Somewhere nice. I'll cover... No, Elena cut him off. I'll find my own place, with my own money. Elena, please, let me help. You can help by giving me space. By not trying to buy my forgiveness with penthouses and gifts. By understanding that I need time to figure out who I am when I'm not invisible anymore. She walked to the door, paused. The DNA test proves you're my father, she said, without turning around. But biology doesn't make you a parent. That's something you have to earn. And right now, you haven't earned it. She left him standing in his study, surrounded by all his success, more alone than she'd ever been. Outside, the Los Angeles night was cool and clear. Elena took a deep breath and felt something shift inside her. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But maybe, eventually, understanding. Elena found an apartment in Silver Lake. Small, affordable, hers. She paid the deposit with money from her savings, refusing to touch a cent of Richard's wealth. It wasn't much. A studio with a Murphy bed and a view of someone else's fire escape. But it belonged to her. No one could take it away. The media frenzy had died down after 2 weeks. Margaret's arraignment had given the reporters fresh meat, and Elena was yesterday's news. She was grateful for the anonymity again, even if it felt different now. She wasn't invisible. She was just choosing to be unseen. David Torres called on a Tuesday morning. The DA wants to meet with you, he said. They're building the case against Margaret. Murder, kidnapping, fraud, obstruction of justice. They want your testimony locked down. When? Thursday downtown. I'll come with you if you want. Elena agreed and spent the next 2 days preparing. She went over her statement again. The timeline. The evidence. The DA's office was thorough. They wanted every detail, every witness, everything that would ensure Margaret never saw freedom again. But there was something else Elena needed to do first. Something she'd been putting off. She needed to expose the whole truth. Not just Margaret's crimes, but Richard's complicity. His choice to look away when he could have looked harder. Wednesday afternoon, she met with Amanda Chen, an investigative journalist from the LA Times who'd been respectfully persistent in requesting an interview. They met at a coffee shop in Echo Park, away from cameras and attention. Amanda was younger than Elena expected, maybe 35. Sharp eyes behind thick-rimmed glasses, a recorder already on the table between them. Thank you for agreeing to talk, Amanda said. I know you've been avoiding the press. I have a story to tell. The real one, not the sanitized version everyone's been running. Amanda leaned forward. I'm listening. Elena told her everything. Margaret's confession, the witnesses, the forged documents. But she didn't stop there. She told Amanda about Richard's admission, that he'd suspected something was wrong, but chose not to pursue it, that he'd let Margaret handle everything without oversight, that he'd built an empire while his daughter was lost in the system. You're saying Richard Callahan knew something was off but didn't investigate. Amanda's pen was flying across her notepad. I'm saying he chose willful ignorance. He chose his grief and his business over finding the truth. Margaret committed the crimes, but he enabled them by not asking questions when he should have. That's a serious accusation against one of the most powerful men in aviation. It's the truth. Amanda studied her. You understand this will destroy him, his reputation, his business relationships, everything he's built. He destroyed himself. I'm just making sure everyone knows it. The article ran on Friday morning, front page, above the fold. Billionaire's daughter. My father chose not to find me. It was devastating and thorough. Amanda had included everything. Richard's admission. Expert analysis on why the investigation should have raised red flags. Torres's forced retirement. The pattern of questions that were never asked. Elena's phone started ringing within an hour. Richard, his lawyers, people she'd never met claiming to represent his interests. She ignored them all. By Friday afternoon, the story had gone national. Cable news picked it up, social media exploded. The narrative shifted from tragic reunion to billionaire's negligence. Richard's company stock dropped 8% in a single day. Torres called that evening. "You really did it. You went nuclear. He deserved the truth to come out." Did he? Or are you punishing him for something he can't change? The question stung. He could have tried harder. He had every resource, every advantage. Margaret couldn't have pulled this off if he'd been paying attention. Maybe. Or maybe he was a grieving man who trusted the wrong person. Margaret was smart. Elena, she played him for decades. Whose side are you on? The truth's side. Same as you. But I've been doing this long enough to know that sometimes the truth isn't as simple as we want it to be. Elena hung up, frustrated. She'd thought exposing Richard would feel righteous, like justice. Instead, it just felt hollow. Saturday morning. Richard showed up at her apartment. She almost didn't let him in, but something in his face, the exhaustion, the defeat, made her open the door. He looked terrible, unshaven, rumpled suit, eyes that spoke of no sleep. "Can we talk?" I said everything I needed to say in the article. "I know. I read it. Multiple times." He gestured inside. "Please, 5 minutes." She stepped aside, let him enter her tiny studio. He looked around. The thrift store furniture, the single window, the life she'd built from nothing, and something in his expression crumbled. "This is what I gave you," he said quietly. 25 years of this while I lived in penthouses. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not offering it. I'm stating a fact." He turned to face her. "The article. Everything you said was true. I did choose not to look too hard. I did let Margaret handle everything, and I've spent the last 48 hours trying to justify it, trying to find excuses, but there aren't any. I know. I lost my company yesterday. The board forced me out, voted no confidence. They're bringing in new leadership. Investigating my tenure, looking for other things I might have overlooked." He laughed bitterly. "Turns out when you publicly admit to negligence in one area, people assume there's negligence everywhere." Elena felt a twinge of something. Guilt. Maybe. "I didn't do this to destroy your business." "Yes, you did. And you were right to." Richard sat on her second-hand couch, looking smaller than she'd ever seen him. "I built that empire on the grave of my family. Every success was a betrayal. Every achievement was bought with your suffering. It deserved to fall. So what now? You're here for absolution. For me to say it's okay? No. I'm here to tell you that I'm done running. Done hiding behind wealth and influence. Margaret's trial starts in 6 weeks. I'm going to testify against her, yes, but also about my own failures, about how I enabled her crimes through willful blindness." Elena sat across from him. "Why? Because you deserve a father who tells the truth, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts." He pulled an envelope from his jacket. "These are documents transferring control of my remaining assets to a trust. For you, not because I think money fixes anything, but because it's yours by right. Catherine's inheritance. Your inheritance. I don't want it. I know, but it's yours anyway. Do whatever you want with it. Burn it. Give it away. Use it to help other kids in the system." He stood. "I also wanted you to know I'm leaving Los Angeles, going somewhere quiet, somewhere I can figure out who I am without the empire. Running away. No. Running toward something. Toward being the person Catherine would have wanted me to be. The father you deserved." He moved toward the door. Paused. "I know I can't undo 25 years. Can't give you back your childhood or your mother. But maybe, if I spend the rest of my life trying, I can give you something true. A father who finally chose you, even if it's too late." He left before Elena could respond. She sat in her studio apartment, holding the envelope, feeling the weight of choices and consequences. Margaret had destroyed her family out of obsessive love. Richard had abandoned her out of cowardice and grief. And Elena had spent her whole life being shaped by other people's decisions. But not anymore. She opened the envelope. Inside were legal documents, bank statements, numbers that made her head spin. Enough money to never work again. Enough to help thousands of kids like her. Enough to build something new from the ashes of everything that had burned. Elena pulled out her laptop and started researching. Foster care, reform organizations, legal aid for adoptive families, programs for kids aging out of the system. If she was going to have this money, this power, she was going to use it for something that mattered. She was going to make sure no other child got erased the way she had been. Margaret had tried to hide her. Richard had failed to find her. But Elena was done being invisible. She was done being anyone's victim. It was time to write her own story. The courthouse steps were packed with media by the time Elena arrived. Cameras, microphones, reporters shouting questions. 6 weeks had passed since her article, and the public appetite for this story hadn't diminished. If anything, it had intensified. Margaret Hensley's trial had become the spectacle of the year. Torres met Elena at the security checkpoint. "You ready for this?" "As ready as I'll ever be. Remember, just tell the truth. Don't let the defense rattle you. They're going to try to paint you as an opportunist, someone with a grudge against Margaret and Richard both. Let them try." Inside, the courtroom was already filled to capacity. Elena spotted Richard in the back row, looking gaunt. He'd kept his word, left Los Angeles, testified in depositions, cooperated fully with prosecutors. They hadn't spoken since that morning in her apartment. Margaret sat at the defense table in an expensive suit, her posture perfect, her face a mask. She looked like she was attending a board meeting, not facing murder charges. When her eyes found Elena, something flickered there. Regret, maybe, or just calculation. The prosecutor, a sharp woman named Jessica Reyes, had prepped Elena thoroughly. The strategy was simple: establish the kidnapping, the cover-up, then bring it home with the confession. Margaret's own words would condemn her. The prosecution calls Elena Brooks. Elena stood, walked to the witness stand, placed her hand on the Bible. The oath felt strange in her mouth. To tell the truth, the whole truth, as if truth was something simple and whole, not fragmented and complicated. Reyes started gently, establishing Elena's background. The foster homes, the sealed records, the complete absence of childhood before age 5. "Can you tell the court about the day you found the photograph?" Elena described it. The VIP lounge, the silver frame behind the chair, the recognition that punched through her like electricity. The jury leaned forward, engaged. "And what happened when Margaret Hensley found you with this photograph?" "She accused me of theft, had me fired and escorted out by security, threatened criminal charges." "Did she seem surprised by the photograph?" "No. She seemed afraid." "Objection." Margaret's attorney rose. "Speculation about my client's emotional state." "Sustained." Reyes pivoted. "What did you do after being fired?" Elena walked the jury through her investigation. The witnesses in San Diego, the Fletchers and their paid silence, the hospital records, Torres's buried evidence, each piece building on the last. And then you confronted Mrs. Hensley directly. Yes, in Richard Callahan's office, with him present. "Can you tell the court what Mrs. Hensley said during that confrontation?" Elena took a breath. This was it. She confessed. To everything. The courtroom murmured. The judge called for order. Elena recounted Margaret's words, careful to be exact. The obsessive love, the decision to remove Catherine Callahan, the fire, finding Elena alive and choosing to hide her rather than kill her, the 25-year plan to eventually find Elena and present her to Richard like a miracle. She said she did it all for love. Elena finished. That she loved Richard and wanted to protect him from my mother. "And did you record this confession?" "Yes." Reyes introduced the audio as evidence. The courtroom fell silent as Margaret's voice filled the space, cold and precise, admitting to murder and kidnapping without remorse. When it finished, several jurors were visibly shaken. The defense attorney's cross-examination was brutal. He tried to paint Elena as bitter, vengeful, someone who'd turned on Richard after he'd welcomed her back. "Isn't it true you wrote an article destroying Richard Callahan's reputation?" "I wrote an article telling the truth about his negligence. You cost him his company, his career, everything he'd built. He cost me my childhood, my mother, 25 years of my life. So this is revenge. This is justice." The attorney changed tactics. "You were in the foster system from age 5, multiple homes, some difficult placements. That must have been traumatic." "It was. traumatic enough to create false memories, confusion about events. Elena's jaw tightened. I know what happened to me. Do you, or have you constructed a narrative from fragments and suggestions? My client has maintained her innocence. She claims this recording was coerced, that you and Mr. Callahan threatened her. That's a lie. Is it? You had everything to gain from this story, a billionaire father, an inheritance, fame, and my client had everything to lose, Reyes objected. The judge sustained it, but the seed was planted. Doubt. The defense called their own witnesses, character witnesses from Margaret, colleagues who described her as dedicated, professional, kind, a psychologist who suggested the confession might have been made under duress. But then Reyes called Richard. He walked to the stand, looking older than his 53 years. The courtroom buzzed. The fallen billionaire, testifying against his former right hand. Mr. Callahan, how long did Margaret Hensley work for you? Almost 30 years. Did you trust her? Completely. She handled everything. My schedule, my business operations, my personal affairs. I relied on her for everything, including the investigation into your wife and daughter's deaths. Richard's voice dropped. Yes. And did you personally oversee that investigation? No. I couldn't. I was grieving. I let Margaret handle the details. Did you ever question her conclusions? Here it was. Richard's moment of truth. I had doubts, he said quietly. Small things that didn't add up. A detective who wanted to speak with me directly but suddenly retired. Reports that seemed too neat, but I didn't pursue those doubts. Why not? Because I was a coward. His voice broke. Because if I dug deeper, I might discover my daughter was alive somewhere, and I couldn't bear that guilt. So I chose to believe Margaret. Chose to accept the easy answer. And my daughter spent 25 years in the foster system, because I was too weak to face the truth. The courtroom was silent. Do you believe Margaret Hensley killed your wife and kidnapped your daughter? Yes, without question. And do you believe you enabled those crimes through your negligence? Yes. Richard looked directly at Elena. I failed my daughter twice. Once when I let Margaret convince me she was dead, and again every day I didn't look harder. Elena was right to expose me. I deserved to lose everything. When Richard stepped down, Elena felt something shift inside her. Not forgiveness. That would take time, maybe forever. But understanding, he was broken too. They all were. Margaret's obsession had shattered everyone it touched. The closing arguments were sharp. The defense painted Margaret as a devoted employee destroyed by false accusations. The prosecution painted her as a murderer who'd manipulated everyone for decades. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. When they returned, the verdict was swift and unanimous. Guilty on all counts. Murder in the first degree, kidnapping, fraud, obstruction of justice. Margaret's face didn't change. She simply nodded, as if she'd expected nothing else. The judge set sentencing for 2 weeks later, but indicated the sentence would be severe. Life without parole was likely. As the courtroom emptied, Elena stood frozen. It was over. Really over. Torres touched her shoulder. You did good, kid. You got justice. Did I? Elena watched Margaret being led away in handcuffs. She's going to prison. Richard lost everything. My mother's still dead and I still can't remember her face. Justice isn't about getting everything back. It's about making sure the truth gets told. You did that. Outside, the media descended. Elena ignored them, pushing through the crowd. Richard stood by the courthouse steps, alone, waiting. Elena, he called. She stopped, turned. Thank you, he said, for telling the truth, even when it destroyed me. It needed to be told. I know. He stepped closer. I'm leaving the country for a while. Going to do some work overseas, humanitarian stuff, trying to be useful. Good. But before I go, I wanted to say, I'm proud of you, of who you've become despite everything. Your mother would be too. Elena felt tears sting her eyes. You don't get to say that. You didn't know who I became. You weren't there. You're right, I wasn't. But I'm looking at you now, and I see someone strong, someone who survived, someone who demanded justice when everyone else wanted to hide from it. That's all you, Elena. Not me. Not Catherine. You. He walked away before she could respond. Disappearing into the crowd, Elena stood on the courthouse steps, cameras flashing, reporters shouting. This was it. The moment everyone wanted. The victim triumphant, the villain punished. Justice served. But it didn't feel like triumph. It just felt like the end of something, and maybe the beginning of something else. 3 months after the verdict, Elena stood in a different kind of building. Not a courthouse or a penthouse. A renovated warehouse in Seattle, freshly painted with large windows letting in gray Pacific Northwest light. The sign above the door read, Catherine's House, Transitional Living for Foster Youth. Her first project, the first thing she'd built with the money Richard had left her. A place where kids aging out of the system could live while they found their footing. Real support, real guidance, everything she'd never had. It's perfect, Torres said, walking through the common room. He'd flown up for the opening, one of the few people Elena had invited. Catherine would have loved this. I wish I remembered her well enough to know that. You do, in a way, you're doing what she would have done, protecting kids who can't protect themselves. The opening ceremony was small. A few local politicians, social workers. The first group of residents, 5 young people between 18 and 21, all with that same wary look Elena recognized from every mirror she'd ever faced. She gave a short speech. Nothing dramatic. Just the truth. She'd been them once. She knew how it felt to age out with nothing. This place wouldn't solve everything, but it would be a start. Afterward, one of the residents, a girl named Maya, 19, with tired eyes, approached her. Is it true that you're the one from the trial, the Callahan case? Elena nodded. Yeah, that's me. So you really were a foster kid. 7 different homes. Maya studied her. And now you're rich, famous, must be nice. The money's useful, the fame I could do without. Elena gestured around. This is what matters. Making sure what happened to me doesn't keep happening to others. You really think one building changes anything? No, but it's one building more than existed before. And I'm working on 5 more. Different cities. Same model. Elena met Maya's skeptical gaze. I can't fix the whole system, but I can create spaces where kids aren't invisible, where people actually see them. Something shifted in Maya's expression. Not quite trust, but maybe the beginning of it. That evening, Elena sat in her own apartment. Still small, still modest. Though she could afford anything now. She'd moved to Seattle permanently, putting Los Angeles and all its ghosts behind her. Her phone rang. Richard's number. They talked maybe once a month now. Brief conversations. Nothing deep. I saw the photos, he said when she answered. Catherine's house. It's beautiful. It's a start. I'm proud of you. The words still felt strange. Where are you now? Guatemala. Building water systems in rural villages. Turns out I'm decent at logistics when I'm not using it to build empires. A pause. How are you, really? Elena looked out her window at the Seattle skyline. Better. Some days. Other days I'm still angry about everything we lost. That's fair. I started therapy. Actual therapy. Not just talking to Torres. That's good. I did too. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. This was what their relationship had become. Small check-ins, careful honesty. No pressure for more than either could give. I'm coming back to the States next month, Richard said. For Margaret's final appeal hearing. They don't expect it to go anywhere, but I need to be there. Me too. Maybe we could get coffee after. No agenda, just coffee, Elena considered. Okay, just coffee. After hanging up, she pulled out the one thing she'd kept from her old life, the silver picture frame. The photograph of her 4-year-old self with Richard. She'd had it restored, cleaned, properly preserved. She still couldn't remember that day, couldn't recall being that happy little girl, but she was learning to be okay with that. The past was gone. She couldn't get it back, but she could build a future. A week later, Torres called with news. They found something in Margaret's storage unit, journals, decades of them. Elena's chest tightened. And they're disturbing as hell. She documented everything. Her obsession with Richard, her planning of the fire, how she chose the Fletchers to take you, her fantasy about eventually rescuing you and presenting you to Richard. Torres paused. There's also letters to Richard, hundreds of them. Love letters she never sent. Jesus. The prosecution's entering them as evidence for the appeal. Shows premeditation, long-term planning. She's not getting out, Elena. Ever. Elena should feel satisfied. Instead, she just felt sad. Sad for everyone Margaret's sickness had destroyed. Sad for the woman Margaret might have been if she'd gotten help instead of feeding her obsession. There's something else, Torres continued. One of the journals mentions your mother. Catherine suspected Margaret was in love with Richard. She'd tried to have her transferred to another division. That's probably what triggered everything. So her mother had known, had tried to protect her family, and died for it. I'm sending you copies if you want them. But Elena, you don't have to read them. You don't owe Margaret anything, not even your attention. Send them. I need to know. All of it. The journals arrived 2 days later. Elena spent a weekend reading them, working her way through Margaret's neat handwriting, watching obsessions spiral across decades. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash, but buried in the madness were details about her mother, Catherine's kindness to new employees, her laugh, her dedication to charitable work, her love for Elena. Margaret had documented it with jealous precision. She reads to the girl every night, the same 3 books. Elena asks for them by name. They have rituals, routines. Catherine makes it look effortless. Being a mother, being loved. Why couldn't Richard see that I could give him that too? That I could be everything she is? But better, Elena cried. Reading it, not for Margaret, but for the mother she'd lost, for the woman who'd loved her so completely that a disturbed person had killed her for it. She boxed the journals and sent them back to Torres. She'd read them once. That was enough. Margaret's appeal was denied, as expected. Elena and Richard sat in the courtroom together, united in silence as the judge confirmed the sentence. Life without possibility of parole. Margaret looked at them once before being led away. Her face was older now, lined with bitterness. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something, then closed it. What was there to say? She'd lost everything. They all had. Outside, Richard and Elena went for that coffee. They sat in a quiet cafe, cups cooling between them. I'm selling the penthouse, Richard said. Donating most of what's left to your foundation. Seems fitting. You don't have to do that. I want to. You're doing what I should have done years ago. Actually helping people instead of just accumulating wealth. He smiled sadly. Your mother would be proud. She always said I focused too much on building and not enough on giving. Tell me about her, the real her, not from Margaret's crazy journals. So Richard did. He talked about Catherine's terrible singing voice, how she'd sing off key in the shower and not care, her obsession with crossword puzzles, the way she'd volunteer at homeless shelters every Thanksgiving, her dream of becoming a teacher before she'd married him. She wanted to adopt more kids, Richard said quietly. Said you needed siblings. I said we'd think about it after the business stabilized. There was always something more important than family, until there was no family left. Elena reached across the table, squeezed his hand briefly. We're still family. Broken, weird, damaged, but family. His eyes filled. Thank you. They finished their coffee talking about safer things. Richard's work in Guatemala, Elena's plans for 3 more Catherine's houses, the weather, normal things. When they parted, Richard hugged her. Quick, awkward, but real. I'll do better, he promised. I can't fix the past, but I can show up for the future. That's all I'm asking. Elena walked back to her apartment alone, the Seattle drizzle soft on her face. She thought about the girl she'd been. Invisible, forgotten, lost in a system that didn't see her, and the woman she'd become. Someone who refused to be erased. Margaret was in prison. Richard was in exile, trying to become someone better. And Elena was building something new from the ashes of everything that had burned. That night, she pulled out the photograph one last time. The little girl with the ponytails, laughing at something outside the frame. Elena still couldn't remember that moment, that happiness. But she could create new moments, new happiness, for herself and for kids like Maya, like she'd been. She set the frame on her desk, next to her laptop where she was drafting plans for Catherine's house expansion. The past couldn't be changed, but the future was hers to write. And for the first time in 29 years, Elena Brooks, daughter, survivor, builder of second chances, felt genuinely hopeful about what came next.